Alright, so I'm drilling some of these holes. I've got the old part lined up with the new part. I'm just going to take a pencil through the hole and try to mark where that is. And we're going to try to do the same thing over here. Fortunately, the pencil does go through the hole.
Hi, Dad.
And here's Lincoln who wants to help. Yeah, we're building you a play set. You excited? Excited? Oh, yep, that's a screw. No, yeah. So I got my hole boring drill bits here. Lock. And then we just got to figure out which one's the size of that big hole. Mask it to the right depth, which looks like 1/4 inch or so. And then, let's see, we got some smaller hole borers here. Ow, that was pointy. That's very pointy. Just take one of those and, yep, that's the right size for that one. So we'll pull that one out. And obviously if we need to make the hole a little bigger, we can. Let's see, this is about 7/8. So yeah, we'll get those picked out. All right, so we've masked the bit. It was an inch bit, by the way. So we're gonna see how this goes. Drilling into the hole there and clearing out a space kind of like that one. Okay, so that's the hole after the first drill bit. And then we'll drill the hole all the way through. All right, so the finished product looks like that. And there's a hole all the way through it. And it looks the same on the other side, except the little fleck came off on that one. It's no big deal. It's not cracked all the way through. Still gotta grind that down a little. It's kind of rough. But otherwise, this is a finished support piece. Well, okay, it's gotta get stained too, but yeah, otherwise finished. And ready to replace this piece right here, which doesn't even have all of its screw hole anymore. So these boards have been sitting out here for a couple days. Not really that long, because I cut them over the weekend and it's only Wednesday. And we've got a robin trying to make a nest. So yeah, I better get on building these things into a swing set really soon. All right, so here we've got some of our boards laid out. And yeah, this is approximately where they're going to go with relation to some of the other pieces. But see, the biggest ones we got are right here. And you'll note that these pieces, the new pieces, are a little bit smaller than the old pieces, but it's not really going to make a difference because nothing connects to it past this point. So yeah, that was just decoration, I guess. They wanted to make their piece a little bit longer than 8 feet. So yeah, we're going to go mark it up and try to get all the bolt holes where they need to be so the pieces can line up and fit in there. And then we're going to recreate this deck that Lincoln likes so much, and then start to put this back together after we stain it all. Great. All right, well, since I'm rebuilding this whole thing from scratch anyway, at least the platform part, and Lincoln loves playing on it already, instead of trying to go off the old piece and line up all the holes, what I've instead done is laid out the old piece that it's connecting to, because that was mostly intact, and we've bolted it back together. And yeah, we just laid it out, leveled it on where it's going, and we're just going to drop a marker through there and put a mark where each one of those holes needs to go for bolt screw and bolt points. Yep, Link, you got your shoe off. That's going to include these right here. So this way, basically, the old parts are the template for the new part. So they should, once we put it all together, match up perfectly because, well, they match up perfectly right now. Okay, so now the last drill holes for this before, well, there's technically one more set, but I flipped these on their back, and now I've got my bigger paddle blade out. This is 1.5 inches, the biggest one I got, and that is to sink some holes over here because the way these things are attached, the carriage bolt goes through everything, but it doesn't stick out, and that's a safety feature so kids don't like hit their hands or heads. The end of the bolt is actually recessed, and then there's a washer and nut that go in there. And yeah, so that hole is 1.5 inches for this particular set. So yeah, let's go ahead and drill those in. Alright, well, it's a new day, and my hair is all crazy because it's a new day, and sun's just coming up. It's a beautiful day, it looks like it's going to be. And yeah, time to relay out some of that wood and go ahead and get it so everything's lined up. Woo! So after the other day, I came to the realization that I actually don't need to mark the holes if I can just drill through where the beams go, because then I don't have to find any ink marks or pencil marks or anything. I just make the hole and it's right where it needs to be, at least a starter hole, and then I can go ahead and mimic the hole that was already there. So that's what we're gonna do. Now the right way to do this would probably be to use a drill press, but I don't have a drill press. I just have this drill, and it's got a little bubble target thingy on the back. So we're going to use the bubble target thingy on the back, because these holes go all the way through. Beautiful. And that's how we drill some holes. Okay, so I got my smaller bit now for the couple of smaller holes. I didn't actually drill all the smaller holes, but see, I got this bit masked now, a little more than an inch, maybe an inch and a half. So I can go ahead and drill a couple smaller holes, because those ones don't go all the way through. Alrighty. And some of you might be asking, hey, why didn't you drill all 4 of the small holes? Well, that's because I didn't really like the way the support braces were sitting for this side of the piece, and so I decided, well, those are attached now. I will go ahead and stain this all and then install the 3 main beams and get those support beams on there, and then once everything's in place, then I'll drill the holes and put those screws in to attach them, but don't really need to do it now. Okay, so now the last drill holes for this before, well, there's technically one more set, but I flipped these on their back, and now I've got my bigger paddle blade out. This is 1.5 inches, the biggest one I got, and that is to sink some holes over here, because the way these things are attached, the carriage bolt goes through everything, but it doesn't stick out, and that's a safety feature so kids don't like hit their hands or heads. The end of the bolt is actually recessed, and then there's a washer and nut that go in there. And yeah, so that hole is 1.5 inches for this particular set. So yeah, let's go ahead and drill those in. Maybe it'd be better not to do that size difference all at once. Alright. See, I was wrong. You do want to do the whole hole at once, and you want a small hole as possible in the middle. So, learn from my mistake, because I now have really big, ugly holes countersunk in the back of my playset. Which is fine. We'll deal with it. You're not really going to see them. They're going to get stained over anyway, so they should seal over time. But yeah, full-size hole all at once. Alright, so only really two more things we got to drill today. One of those is for the tack boards, where we're using a 5/16 inch bolt or screw that's going to have a 7/8 inch washer on it. And so I got my 7/8 inch bit, and it's got to get sunk in here because this tack board, the way this is assembled, the screw has to sit like here in order for it to stick into the side of this main board here. And so it's sunk about an inch below the surface. Again, kind of for safety reasons and for lack of access, but it's a little bit of a pain to get out too, because if you don't make the hole big enough, you can't get a socket in there. So we'll start with this size hole, and if I need to make a bigger hole for the socket, actually let's measure the socket and make sure that's the right size, and then use the right bit for that. Yep, the socket fits, and I have placed 3 of the 2x4s that we're using for the tack boards in between the 2 4x6s to kind of use as a jig. And so let's get drilling. Alright. Okay, now I'm going to make a jig out of this piece of cardboard. And actually it looks like this is going to be pretty easy because these 2 holes are right in alignment with each other. But what I'm going to do, put the cardboard up, and well, I'll make 1 hole. Alright, so that's 1 hole. And I'll stick a bolt through there. A little tough. Alright, there we go. The bolt is in the wood. Now what I'm going to do, go around the other side, push this drill bit through, and make a second hole. And now I have a pattern. If I mark off where the top needs to be, now I have a pattern for where to put those other holes, and that's right here. Now back at the piece we're working on, I have put the bolt in where the bolt hole currently is, and I've lined the top with the top and stuck the drill bit in the middle of that. So now we have it marked where to make that hole, and we'll repeat that and reorient this as appropriate for each of these, because some of them are mirror images, but yeah, they're pretty much straight in alignment with each other. So this is about the best I could do to figure out how to do that correctly. And there we go. There's our original hole for the post, and here's our new hole for the I don't know, monkey bars that go up to it. You'll see what it looks like in the end. But yeah, those came out nice in the right position. Just got to remember that that is up and this is up. I might go ahead and mark that. But yeah, so yeah, hope you all enjoyed that and found it informative and inspiring, maybe to go out and buy and build and restore your own wooden playset. It is a lot of work. We're part of the way there, but I think it'll be worth it. And yeah, so until next time, hope you all have a good week and weekend, and however long it may be until you watch the next video. And yeah, take care for now. The sun is up. Yeah.